OCO, free thinkers.
I make you think, yeah. I make you think, I make you think.
So Job Brick, shout out to you, brother. What's good?
This fact gonna blow your mind. Did you know that Black Americans are the Indians they said they killed off? And Malcolm X tried to tell y'all in this video right here.
Aborigines, which means what? Black folks. You never find a white aborigine. Aborigines are called natives, or they're always dark-skinned people. You and I are aborigines.
Aborigines are called natives.
Bro, I ain't gonna lie, John, where you get that from? I haven't seen that in a long time. This particular, even though I updated this, I haven't seen it. He went way back to get this. That's my old logo.
Aborigines.
Aborigines
I don't even know what that's
natives.
at.
They're always dark-skinned people. This is a statue of Pocahontas' father. As you can see, he's depicted as dark-skinned. So Disney, why you lying? You never find a white aborigine.
Hold
Why the
on,
hell
go
these
back.
dark-skinned
Talk to
people?
them.
Called natives, or they're always dark-skinned people. You and I are aborigines.
Aborigines are called natives. They're always dark-skinned people. This is a statue of Pocahontas' father. As you can see, he's depicted as dark-skinned. So Disney, why you lying? You never find a white aborigine. Why the hell he become a chief of a tribe? Somebody lying. One of the reasons Malcolm was assassinated is he was waking up to our true identity and was about to sue the United States government for violating our human rights in accordance with international law. Because
Hold up, let's go back.
see, he's depicted as dark-skinned. So Disney, why you lying? You never find a white aborigine. Why the hell he become a chief of a tribe? Somebody lying. One of the reasons Malcolm was assassinated is he was waking up to our true identity and was about to sue the United States government for violating our human rights in accordance with international law. Because you being indigenous means they owe you more than just cash reparations. They owe you your land back.
That's right. That's right. Absolutely. Job Bricks is on Instagram as Job Bricks, and I believe he's on TikTok as well as Job Bricks. Shout out to that brother, man. Fire. Shout out to the Niji. I'm not sure this brother's name. Maybe it may be in the video. It may be on the video itself. Let me see.
If, in fact, black people are not indigenous to this land, and I'm not talking about Africans who have came over here who were brought on slave ships. I'm talking about before that, the dark-skinned people of this land. Now, of course, people are going to say, oh, no, they look like, the Native Americans who we've learned about in our early history and foundation of America. But no.
Right, hold on. No, that's right. That's right. Remember, they tried to say that ab meaning from, but they were saying away from. Notice how they said that they didn't want us to use that term aboriginal or aborigine. They didn't want us to use that. Malcolm X said it himself. Ab meaning from, origine meaning the beginning. And then I played a little bit more of that because they tried to say that they was debunking, they was trying to say they were debunking me saying that Malcolm X never said that. And that was cap. I got the whole thing. Matter of fact, that was a whole 4-hour lecture. And he was like, aborigine. No, he said, hold on, let me pull it up. I'm gonna look for as he talking. Hold on, I'm gonna try to grab it as he talking.
If, in fact, black people are not indigenous to this land, and I'm not talking about Africans who have came over here who were brought on slave ships. I'm talking about before that, the dark-skinned people of this land. Now, of course, people are going to say, oh, no, they look like, the Native Americans who we've learned about in our early history and foundation of America. But no, there were people here who were darker than that, okay? If black people are not indigenous to this land, why are there HBCU colleges predominantly in the South? Tulsa, Oklahoma was the epicenter for Black Wall Street. Mind you, if you follow history, you know that all the native and indigenous people were pushed into Oklahoma. And then they gave it an Indian reservation, Indian land. But black people weren't indigenous?
It's up.
I've never seen government people work so hard to decimate one specific group of people. And we're talking about COINTELPRO. We're talking about crack being introduced into the hoods and the ghettos. We're talking about the gang wars in the 90s, okay? Y'all stay trying to create the new thing that will help us eliminate ourselves. Whether it be promiscuity, drugs, alcohol, again, gang violence. And then you have to wonder, that's why you pit the Mexicans and the blacks together during the 90s so bad. When I was growing up in Southern California, gang wars between East LA and Compton, that was bad. And I think that is by design. Just like the motherfucking Bloods and Crips, by design. But we don't see the Native Americans out here, the ones who are upset that we're trying to lay any claim to being on this land and this land belonging to us as well. Y'all ain't trying to hear that. But at the same time,
because it eliminates them. It eliminates them. They don't have any merit. They don't have any standing ground. The Native Americans was a made up group. And that term, Native American, I showed everybody the proof. It was only utilized as a political organization. The Know Nothings. That was called the Native American Party. That was the very first time in history that term was ever utilized. There's no legislation out there right now that can prove that American Indians ID, their classification, okay, or their racial classification was ever switched to Native American. Not one time can they prove that. Still to this very day. It was always a Marie Indian. It's a whole bunch of them. Urban Indian. It's a whole bunch of them. It was always Indian. It went from Indian, Negro to colored, mulatto, then black. Now, another thing is that I'm on my new hard drive, and that Malcolm X clip is so old that is on one of my older hard drives that I do not have plugged up, which is crazy because it looked like I got the audio, but I don't believe I have the video. And this may not even be the full audio. Let me see something.
Aborigines, which means what? Black folks. You never find a white aborigine. Rather, aborigines are called natives, or they're always dark-skinned people. You and I are aborigines, but you don't like to be called aborigine. You want to be called an American.
This it. They got that part right there. Okay, let me tell y'all what they did. Let me tell y'all why they were mad at me. Because that first video that John Brick showed, I stopped it. Okay, listen.
Aborigines, which means what? Black folks. You never find a white aborigine. Rather, aborigines are called natives, or they're always dark-skinned people. You and I are aborigines, but you don't like to be called an aborigine.
That was it. But you don't like to be called Aborigine. And it stopped right there. Then they tried to say that I was lying. And then I said, okay, and I redid it again and put it back out and gave you this whole thing.
But you don't like to be called an Aborigine.
You want to be called an American. And then he started laughing. Then he came right back in.
Aborigine actually means...
Listen.
Aborigine actually means from the beginning.
It's two Latin words, ab meaning from, origine meaning the beginning. That was directly from his mouth. Aborigine actually means from the beginning. It's two Latin words, ab meaning from, origine meaning the beginning. They got mad because I didn't want to tell them where this was from. And I won't tell them where this was from. You got to dig for it, just like I had to. I gave them the year. I remember I gave them the year and when it was. Anybody out there that's calling themselves a researcher and say that that's not Malcolm X, they not a researcher. My job is not to help you do the research. My job is to tell you what my research is. You are supposed to go behind me and research my research. The only time I'm holding your hand and walking you across the street and walking you into the building, skipping past the receptionist and going straight to the office, it's still number one, 3 days in a row. Right now, The Quiet Blueprint of Wealth. You know I'm gonna promote my book, goddammit. It took me 1.5 years to write this book. You wanna know how it's done? Get the book. This is a masterclass in the book. All right, I already answered it, what he was talking about right there. But yeah, that's the reason why the Native Americans are upset, okay? Because they feel as though you will be a threat. Because at that point, you've proven that they haven't been here prior to your people being here. You're proving that you're more indigenous than they are. Keep in mind, they're native. And I told you years ago that there's a difference between indigenous and being native. Anybody can be native. As soon as you're born in America, you're a native. You're a native of America. That's the difference. As soon as you are born in America, you are native. Indigenous meaning primordial. The first, original, aborigine. What Malcolm X just say? Yo, maybe play it again. Ab meaning from, origine meaning the beginning. Yeah, autochthonous, that's another one. That's a good one. They can't take that from you. That's why they trying to argue you down online, but they never come with facts. All they do is come with running their mouth. Keep that in mind, y'all. What, name a Native American scholar that's online? Name them. I'll wait. Name them. Name a Native American scholar that proved that their history stretches back beyond 1800s. I'll wait. It got cold, didn't it? It got cold, didn't it? Huh? Name a native of, no. Hold on, let me stand up. Let me move, hold on. Let me go all the way back here. I'm gonna come all the way back here. I'm all the way on the other side of my theater room, which is now my office. I want you to name the person that called themselves a Native American scholar and has put out information that proves that their people been here indigenously on American soil prior to the 1800s. I'll wait. Who done it? And whoever proved that Native Americans are from this soil prior to the 1800s, please tell me their name. I want to debate them this time, this year, right here on this channel. Cameras on, proof up, and I'll pay them. Please go get them. Go get them. Go get the Siberian Huskies. Huh? But go ahead, brother. Matter of fact, do y'all know who this brother's name or TikTok? Y'all know his name? Let me shout him out. Okay, make that make sense. Shout out to you, brother. Thank you, Blue. I appreciate that. Right, I know, right? His face was, look, I stopped it right on time. Look at the face he making. Right. Perfect timing.
There's no historically Native American colleges. And then you have to wonder, the 5 civilized tribes who were recognized by the United Constitution, or whatever they were called at the time, were recognized. Why? Because basically you guys sold out your people to be deemed as civilized tribes, not the savages. So the white people at the time deemed your tribe, because the chief or person in charge at the time went along with the okie doke. So they said, okay, fine, y'all could be part of the fold. But don't sit up here and be like, black people can't be indigenous to this land, because the word black is a color, for one. It was a term that was described for people who were just of a darker skin color. And then you have to think about, too, when they were really trying to classify black and brown people into like where they would fall, and then it came to like the mixing with white, they had that whole drop of blood. If you know, you had 1 drop of blood, you were considered black. Then there was the paper bag test to deem if, you know, if you could be accepted into white culture, or if even white culture would accept you regardless of your color. It's go time, a certain way, then they might accept you. But it was all based on, it was like a case by case basis. And so these people running around doing the census were just identifying people as they saw fit, or as the people who were running it saw fit. Thank you. So the term native, the term indigenous, the term black, Negro, colored, all kind of got convoluted and mixed into one. So they couldn't really tell. They had to go based off of skin color, honestly. But I just find it funny that now all of a sudden people are getting mad because they're like, oh, black people are trying to claim that they're Native American, they're indigenous. And it's like, baby, you have to understand, you learned the same history that we did in public school. A lot of us did, okay? I do understand that, you know, Native Americans have their tribes that they belong to, and they pass down history that way too. But also, a lot of history has been distorted, whitewashed, you know, twisted and to benefit the people who are running the show.
And simply made up.
But the more I see the spirit of black people, especially when we get together, Beach, it be strong as shit. It be strong. I just saw a video of this band, this HBCU band, and I'm playing, and it's like, that is like the spirit of people, of us people when we get together is just something that is just totally unmatched. Totally unmatched. And you have to live it to honestly understand it.
Yep.
But we've been here, and I'm gonna continue to say it.
That's right.
Set it on fire, fire, fire.
That's right.
Fire,
Yeah, man. The time is now. The awakening is happening now.
OCO, free thinkers.
I make you think, yeah. I make you think, I make you think, yeah. I make you think, yeah. I made you think, yeah. I made you think, I make you think, yeah. I make you
He's
think.
here to make you think.
I make you think, yeah. I make you think, I make you think, yeah. I make you think, yeah. I made you think, yeah. I made you think, I make you think,
It's Dane
yeah. I make
Calloway.